So typically, I talk about a lot of theoretical topics, right, around startups, funding, scaling, growth, exits, and so on and so forth. Today, this episode, I wanted to take something whimsical, an interesting idea that we can have some fun with. Although, of course, it does have, some kind of an angle to it, and I will explain what that angle is. So the topic is uncovering $1 million opportunities for your startup. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Mash, you're also talking about $1 million opportunities. Well, yes, of course, because you know what? You got to dream big. You got to go big. And the idea here essentially is I really want to talk about the meta kind of opportunities, right? So, top strategies for uncovering $1 million opportunities for your startup. And we will be looking at niche markets, disrupting and monetization, hidden gems and things like that. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is let me give you an example. So the other day I was talking to my daughter, and she was saying, okay, yeah, she's got a little bit of she's stuck with chemistry, and she's finding it a little difficult. And then so we discussed this chemistry thing many times, and I gave her some advice. And so this time when we were talking, and I said, okay, did you apply that? And she was like, oh, I keep reading this topic, and I just find it difficult. And so what I said to her was, listen, stop learning chemistry, right? Learn the art of learning. So meta learning, right? So because look, if you look at it, if you learn how to learn a language effectively, you can learn any language very easily, right? So it's very important for startups, also for founders, to really get the meta of a successful startup. So $1 million idea, rather than just thinking about, or in this case, talking about some $1 million ideas, let's explore the meta, that is the knowledge of how to think about $1 million ideas. But having said that, I will also offer some ideas and sectors, just for fun, right? Okay, unconventional market opportunities. So, what are we talking about? We're talking about how to uncover $1 million opportunities, right? So, how to get these $1 million opportunities. One of them is unconventional market opportunities. Explore niche markets with limited competition but high growth potential. For example, you could develop an eco-friendly kind of a reusable packaging system for e-commerce businesses. That could be a niche market with limited competition but high growth potential. Now, when I give you these examples, listen, I haven't done any research into them. I don't know the viability of these ideas. And you know what? I could be completely wrong, right? But these are just ideas or examples that come to my mind, and I'm going to share them with you. The idea here is not those ideas, they're not important, right? The meta of uncovering ideas is what we're trying to get through here. Okay, look for areas where new regulations or emerging technologies create opportunities. For example, you could create a privacy focused, kind of decentralized social media platform in response to growing data privacy concerns. Is that something new? Absolutely not. But again, that demonstrates how you can look for areas where new regulations or emerging technologies can create opportunities. So, this privacy focused social media, I mean, this is all the rage, right? People are talking about it. People are not happy with Facebook, for example. We're not happy with Facebook. Twitter, privacy concerns. So, how about a decentralized social media platform, right? Okay, just an example, like I said. Find ways to disrupt established industries with innovative solutions. For example, you could develop a 3D printed modular housing system, right? You could do, and what's happening? My camera seems to be freezing up. But anyway, I was suggesting for disrupting established industries, you can develop a 3D printed kind of modular housing system, maybe for affordable housing situation locally. Again, not a unique idea, but these are about the meta. So when you disrupt established industries with innovative solutions, that's $1 million idea, right? When you look for areas where new regulations or emerging technologies prop up, that's $1 million idea. So that's what we're trying to tackle here. Okay, adjacent market expansion, a very good concept that you can kind of, look into. Identify opportunities in adjacent markets that complement your core offerings. So what does that mean? Identifying opportunities in adjacent markets that complement your core offerings. So, for example, if you offer a project management tool, right? Why don't you develop a time tracking and invoicing system for the same audience, right? I mean, this could be a part of your core product, but it could also be another product. And that way, what you're trying to do there is you understand that sector, you already have a captivated audience, you already have a customer base, so adjacent markets are complementary and then, they're related. Leverage existing resources, expertise, and customer base to create new revenue streams. So let's say you have a fitness app, right? So it's a fitness app company. You can create a marketplace for online coaching and personalized training programs. Do you see what I'm saying? So you got a fitness app, and then now you are creating a marketplace. That means it's a completely different business model, but it is going to leverage your existing resources, your expertise of that segment of that market, and of course the customer base. It's the same customer base. Now they go onto the marketplace. Okay. Seek strategic partnerships or acquisitions to expand into new markets. So, for example, you may be partnering with a sustainably focused company to create a line of eco-friendly office supplies when you are in that office sector. So, for example, furniture. Then you're partnering with someone within. It's a strategic partner. And then they also align with your core values. So think of, and this is where $1 million ideas are born, $1 billion businesses are born. When you are thinking about strategic partnerships, when you're thinking about acquisitions, when you're thinking about expanding into new markets based on your specific core expertise. Now, mind you, you can't do this in the beginning. And so this is for, down the line, if you're at the beginning of the journey. What about monetizing underutilized assets? Identify underutilized assets within your startup or industry and create new revenue streams. For example, you could develop a platform for people to rent out their, unused home gym equipment. How about that? Maybe it's already been done. I'm sure it is. But so what happens here? Your target audience have assets that they're not using much, and then you enable a platform, a marketplace that they can then, create a revenue stream. And of course, you're making money in the meanwhile because of the marketplace commissions, right? So that's underutilized assets. Transform idle resources into profit centers. Okay, so for example, you could create a platform that connects, let's say, freelance professionals to businesses with underutilized office space for temporary co-working kind of arrangements. So what are you doing here? You got you got office space, right? So underutilized office space, and you got freelancers looking for space. Now, has it been done? Yes, it has been done. Again, this shows you how those guys did it. They looked for idle resources and they turned them into profit centers. That's $1 million idea born there. Or underutilized assets, putting them up in the marketplace. That's again $1 million idea. Capitalizing on behavioral and cultural shifts. So Identify trends in consumer behavior and adapt your product or services to capitalize on these changes. So, consumer behavior is very important to understand and to keep track of. For example, you could develop a platform that facilitates remote, flexible work kind of arrangements for both employers and employees. How about that? Okay, that's it may not work, but the point is to show you how you can identify a trend in consumer behavior, and then you adapt your product or service to capitalize on that change. So suppose you just have I don't know, remote working space for freelancers, right? For independent workers or creator economy. But then the trend is that employers, so these same are hiring, that becomes an employer employee. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. um, Understand cultural shifts and leverage them to create new market opportunities. So, what's happening with my camera? Okay. Understand cultural shifts and leverage them to create new market opportunities. For example, you could create an app that supports and promotes local businesses and artisans in response to a shop local movement, right? So there's this shift in culture where people are now more interested in shopping local. So they're going to local stores to buy locally sourced products, groceries, and things like that. And then you can create an app that kind of puts them into a local platform, so to speak, and so on. Again, not a unique idea, but it shows you how to leverage cultural shifts. So look for cultural shifts. What's happening in your culture, and what's happening in the shift, Okay, business model innovation. Rethink traditional business models to unlock new revenue streams and customer segments. Traditional business models. For example, maybe you could implement a pay what you can model for a subscription based educational platform. How about that? So you got an educational platform, and then you have a model that says pay what you can. Why? Because education needs to be democratized, and maybe your core values, your mission, your vision is supports that. And how do you do that? And you can rethink traditional business models, and then you unlock new revenue streams for customer segments. So now you might say, well, how could that be $1 million a model? Because people are not going to pay for it. I'm talking about leveraging your existing kind of infrastructure. If you already have an education platform, you could offer that to a segment of the population. They have a strict criteria. You go through that. If they're eligible, then this. You see what I'm saying? So it opens up that market. Maybe they're not able to afford your core service. Okay. Experiment with innovating pricing and distribution strategies. For example, maybe you can adopt a freemium model to make a premium software accessible to a wider audience, with upselling premium features, right? How about that? Just the same as the education platform example. You're taking your existing one, you're opening up, you're unlocking a new set of audience that may not be able to afford but then of course you got to be careful with your core audience. You don't want to upset them. So you make sure that what you do is transparent, it's well communicated, and your vision and mission. That's why I keep saying in every one of my videos, well, most of my videos most of the episodes is, as a startup, I say, listen, you need to what's happening? Yeah, it's freezing. Okay, so I say that you need to sort of think about from grassroots level, right? So you need to think about grassroots level, and then yeah. Okay, exploiting inefficiencies in existing processes. Identify inefficiencies in existing processes and develop solutions to streamline them. Again, something similar. Same examples could apply. Use technology to increase productivity, reduce costs, and improve customer experiences. So if you can come up with a unique idea that uses technology to increase productivity, reduce costs, and improve customer experiences, you have $1 million idea on hand. Harness the power of data. Okay, it's the age of data, right? Big data, money. Yeah. collect and analyze data to uncover hidden trends and opportunities. So you use the power of data to build $1 million business, right? To come up with, I don't know, something that analyzes customer behavior, and then to help their marketing efforts and so on and so forth. As an example, use data insights to make informed decisions about product development and market expansion. Again, it's quite obvious, right? You use data insights to make informed decisions. This is about expansion. Tapping into the circular economy, right? Identify opportunity to transform waste or underutilized materials into valuable resources. That's where we're going, actually. That's where we're heading. Um, Everything would be recyclable, everything would be reusable. This use once, throw away is the days are numbered. So if you get some ideas into that, waste and underutilized materials and blah blah, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Develop products or services that promote the circular economy and contribute to sustainability. So think about sustainability. Think about not sustainability as a meme, but or as a check mark. ESG. No, in a way that is practical, that can be done, that people would embrace. If you think about customer or people behavior, you can get to the root of this. And there is $1 million startup hidden in that. Okay, collaborative consumption and sharing economy. Oh, yes, that is something that is coming up. It's already here. Identify opportunities to leverage the sharing economy and collaborative consumption models. For example, you could develop a platform that allows users to rent or borrow high-end, I don't know, photography equipment, right? From other users. Like, for example, I have a Leica Q2. It's an expensive camera. And you know what? I think 80% of a month, it just sits idle in the shelf, right? Hidden away. I don't use it. If someone else wanted to use it, and if I'm making some money out of it, I might. Actually, I won't. But you get the idea, right? I'm not letting anyone else touch my Leica Q2. But you get the idea, right? Create value by connecting people and promoting efficient use of resources. Now, for example, you can launch a service that connects commuters, for carpooling, reducing transportation costs and environmental impact. Now, a lot of people have already done that. There are many, many, many ride-sharing, carpooling services. But that shows you how you can connect people and promote efficient use of resources. You could do that with computers. You could do that with, a lot of things out there. Okay. Yeah. This is a repeat of it. But there you go. These are some ideas for $1 million startups. Now, I believe in the idea of teaching to fish rather than giving fish. Okay, cliche, but this is what it is. Start thinking meta, right? Okay, when you educate yourself on the startup kind of the field and what are the ideas to make some money, how can I build $1 million startup? If you're at that stage, then rather than looking for exact ideas out there, learn the art of ideas for the startup. So go for the meta, and you will come up with some really good ideas. Okay. So if you have any questions about the specific ideas, don't ask me. Don't send me a DM. But if you have questions about the concept themselves and how to think through and how do you validate these ideas, yeah, DM me and I'll try and give you my 2 cents. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. I've also done a series of episodes on validating ideas, solving real problems. I think those series will help you, in context to this, right? So till my next episode, go forth and prosper.